The results? A number of things, I guess, but we are waiting the recount in 5 seats. So I can't discuss the results until I have the recount. Again, let's await the results of the recount, and then we'll take the next steps. I was very clear to say that we will take deliberate steps based on the information we have at the time. I don't want to engage in speculation. I don't want to be premature in our deliberations. We have information in front of us right now. We said we would write to the EBC. We have the recounts. We'll go from there. And all of you know how to touch base with me at any given time. We will stay in touch, and I will keep you appraised of the situation as we go forward. But this is where we're at right now.
Just a few hours since the results. Any update in terms of the further legal action against Mr. Panaris?
And the recounts in terms of the numbers, right? Correct. So the recounts in those 5 seats would make sense for us to have recounts in those 5 seats. In terms of where we would have seen irregularities otherwise, but given the numbers, we would raise them, but it didn't make sense to ask for a recount in those seats. Yes?
Did you all get any information that some PNM voters will be paid $1,000 in Barataria to change their vote? Was that listed as an irregularity?
Can you repeat that?
That people in Barataria were being paid $1,000 to change their vote for the PNM. Did you all get any such information?
No. Share that with mother. Yes? You could write that down now, I guess.
How many irregularities have you all listed?
Quite a few.
Of numbers.
Quite a few. They're still coming in, right? That's why I'm not being coy or anything. They are coming in. We are getting reports from our attorneys. I am trying to give you as much information as possible without, overstating any claims. They are coming in from our attorneys. They are coming in from our police.
Something for everyone. 975 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
Islands in the sun, islands in the fun. Welcome one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. When it comes to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. Look, sweet woman parade abundantly. The The problems we have are plain to see. We prove we can stand the scrutiny. All I know that true democracy. How we vote is not how we party. There's no place like home, some people say. Though some have to leave to make their way. But in your hands I know their destiny. To come home and big up the country. Sweet, sweet TNT. Lord, how I love of this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Lord, how I love of my country. Sweet, sweet TNT. All this sugar can be good for me. Oh, from Cuba to Signal Hill. Oh, Arima to Charlottesville. Oh, Matlock down to Port of Spain. Oh, yeah. We play in my son or rain. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, I love of the country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be.
Somebody call the fire truck. Somebody call the fire police. Hot like a lapid the paper.
Once upon
Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Good afternoon. Welcome to Politics 2020. My name is Nicole Dookie, and I am sitting in today for Ann Dookie, and I'm inviting you to come and join our program this afternoon. We have a lot going on. We have a lot to talk about in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, it's Sweet, Sweet TNT. Our song was definitely fitting for the start of our program. There's a lot has been going on. As of last night, as you know, the People's National Movement would have won the 2020 general elections, something that we've been looking forward to for the past few weeks. We've been anticipating this, and of course we know you have a lot to say, and we also have a lot to share with you. So before we continue, I would like to invite you to call us and voice your concerns, your complaints. Let us know how you felt about the election 2020 results, and so much more we have in store for you. So let me remind you of our numbers here at you can call us live in studio at 636-7547-227-5739, or you can WhatsApp us at 378-4975. You can listen to us on the airwaves of U97.5 FM, and you can view us on YouTube at RCLU 97.5. I am joined in studio by Sharon. She's operating for us today, and Irma Rattensing will also be joining me a little later on. We'll be discussing elections 2020. Well, before we started the program, you would have heard a live broadcast of a press conference by the United National Congress. That was the voice of the Public Relations Officer of the United National Congress, Anita Haynes. And of course, we will be giving you a little bit of what came out of that press conference from the United National Congress. So before we move forward, let me just remind you again of the numbers to call in studio. It's 636-7547-227-5739, or you can WhatsApp us at 378-4975. Right, so coming out of the press conference a short while ago, the United National Congress, of course, Anita Haynes would have stated that they have not conceded defeat in the elections 2020, and they have called for recounts in 5 seats. 3 of those seats were expected to be done today at 3 p.m., and those are Toco Sani Grande, San Fernando West, and St. Joseph. She also indicated that the party is putting forward a list of discrepancies that they would have observed and witnessed throughout the day yesterday. And of course, this, she said, will be shared with the Elections and Boundaries Commission first before sharing with members of the public. And of course, questions were raised about the leadership of the party. The which is Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisasa, and of course, she would have stated that the members of the United National Congress have full confidence in the leader, and a post-mortem will be done by the party as what would have transpired during the election period. So as it stands, the United National Congress has stated that it will not concede as yet until until the recounts of these 5 seats are done. Also, the question of election observers was again brought to the front, where Miss Anita Haynes also said that the party would have requested election observers. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as you know, the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, would have stated that it would have cost a lot of money for these observers to come to the country for quarantine, because, as you know, quarantine, we still are in a COVID-19 pandemic, and quarantine period is a period of 14 days. So, moving on, of course, last night, the results of the elections were 22 seats for the People's National Movement and 19 seats for the United National Congress. And the PNM would have lost 1 seat, which is Murugat Tableland, which was actually held previously by Dr. Lovell Francis. And Winston Gypsy Peters, of course, would have contested that seat for the People's National Movement. However, the United National Congress, Michelle Benjamin, won that seat, and the UNC gained the St. Augustine seat, which was formerly held by the Congress of the Peoples, Prakash Ramada. That seat, of course, was won by Khadija Amin, who is also the deputy political leader of the United National Congress. So I would like to hear this afternoon, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling today? How I know a lot of persons probably would have been disappointed. A lot of you are probably still celebrating. Sharon, how do you feel? Sharon, how do you feel about the election?
Well, we have to move forward, so
Okay, so
comments, yeah.
Yes. So moving ahead, I just wanted to, remind our listeners as to the seats and who would have won these particular seats. In no particular order, I'm going to just list the seats and the parties and representatives. Before we do, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Nicole.
Hello.
I must say I'm disappointed, right? Because
Yes.
The seat ain't cold good yet, right? And I'm blind.
Right.
As a disabled child, you know about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say how they're moving my caregiver, and they're not sending nobody. I'm saying that I need a caregiver. They say what I want to rotate the caregiving service for people who don't have.
Right.
But it makes no sense that taken from somebody who need to give also somebody who need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see that makes sense.
But do you believe had Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisasa been elected, do you think it would have made a difference to you?
Yes. Because Kamala know about my situation, right?
Uh-huh.
She had promised to help, but she ended up losing.
Right.
To the last election, right? The one before this one. So, this man not helping me do nothing. He's not going to help. But I thank God that my MP won his seat, Mr. Richard Sicharan.
Mm-hmm.
He won his seat, girl, by 12,000 something votes. But I mean, what I'm saying is, my point is, I need a caregiver. I need her. Right? And I can't say the ticket for me, because somebody who need, and I need to. So they don't want to send back nobody here.
Okay.
I find it's very unfair to me or my son.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, so moving on again, I would like to just remind you of those seats and the persons who would have taken these seats. And I said in no particular order, for the Arima constituency, Penelope Beckles won that seat for the People's National Movement. We have another call on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. I'd like to make a contribution.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'd like to say something. You ran a nasty campaign. The PNM took every tool in their tool belt out, and they did it years ago. And you know something? COVID was the perfect storm to the perfect ending. And I said that. I said, this is the perfect storm for the Prime Minister. In my mind, I was saying it. And you have to kind of hold yourself back, because I'll tell you what he did. He owned all the newspapers. He put ads everywhere, every radio station, every TV station, every newspaper. Everybody was saying PNM, PNM. And they have that kind of power, because that is what the elite group does. The elite group, they own everything. So they will now get contracts. And the Prime Minister will pick up where he left off from the last administration, which is his last 5 years, and move forward now with austerity measures. He's saying something about that. I don't know if people know about austerity measures. It means they're going to cut back on social services. You're going to see a lot of cutbacks on even health. You might not even get medicine when you go to the hospitals. Oh, it will be the same. You don't have to worry. Everything's staying the same. I forget to tell all of that, because it's going to be the same before. A little worse now, because they're going to be teething a little more. I want to say something to all the people out there. Right before the election, what did the Prime Minister do? He started talking about EMBD. People started seeing all these things about Barry Padarat. He cheated. Oh, he have a child and he go to America and look, he's not even coming back. Meanwhile, the PNM was bringing all their people in from New York all over, back to Trinidad to work the field. You see, it's about power. It's about taking control and holding the reins. The Prime Minister knows that BP is coming here in the next few years to build massive, massive renewable energy. Who's going to get those jobs? We have to be on top of that. We have to see every company that is set up by this government and who is involved in it. Because I'll tell you something, this is not really a democracy. This is a fake sense of socialism. And people will say, oh, he's a centrist. And I talked to a friend of mine and they say he's a far-right centrist. If you look at how he operates, they play the religion game on you. All the preachers and them will be praying for the Prime Minister. And they use religion. Who's the biggest funding for who own a lot of property in this country? The church. You know, we get crumbs. They throw crumbs at us. They bring all these Venezuelans in here, and I'm hearing they all have ID. And they all got into, they were living here. The Attorney General didn't even care. They asked him about the Venezuelans coming here. He didn't care. He still doesn't care. Right now, they're trying to establish ties with Venezuela. Venezuela is a very corrupt country. Very corrupt. And we want to align ourselves, and they're using oil and gas as an excuse. Look, I say this is the time for young people out there, and even people our age, if we could help guide a group and maybe rebuild the UNC, it could be stronger and better, and I'm glad they're contesting it. The Prime Minister didn't win by a landslide. He won by almost the skin of his teeth. So we know, but he played a very dirty game, mudslinging, especially with that piggy bank thing. So all our little King Kamala is a thief, and Indian people are thieves. He heightens racism in this country. He knows how to play the game. He's a politician. And let me tell you something. He's not stupid, you know. He's real smart. He knows the power of persuasion. And he knows when to dole out the card. That is my comment. So this today should serve as courage for poor people. Don't just sit back until we go eat grass. Say, we are going out to rise up. We are going to do something positive. And we're not going to let the police shoot young black boys in the back anymore. We don't want that anymore. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We have another call on the line.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We'd like to see the letter that the foreign observers sent to Rowley stating that it's too much money. They don't have the finance. We want to see that letter. Rowley is a damn liar. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
But I don't know why I get a double ring.
If what?
Okay, it's out of the steps now.
Okay.
All right, ladies. Well, the election is over.
Yes.
The results are incomplete. I was expecting 2020. No, last week I know Nicole. I wanted a little bacchanal.
Yes.
1920 won.
Yes.
But it did not materialize.
Right.
So now I have to sing the song by Ray Charles called "Hit the Road, Jack." Ain't gonna come no more, no.
But he was very impressive. He got 800 plus votes. He was ahead of the United National Congress candidate who got 700, just a little over 700. So that alone says it speaks volume for him contesting the election.
Yeah, he was impressive, but what he did was to split the votes
Yes.
of both parties.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure who would if he didn't go into the race.
Yes.
Who would have voted for what?
But still, Marvin Gonzalez would have won by a huge a huge gap. So of course it would have still gone in the direction of
the people.
Yes.
You know. The other thing is, well, we heard about the cries of some constituents not being able to exercise their franchise because of all kinds of problems in Gulfview, etc. But I think it's just a matter of time that we will see the real results.
Yes.
Right? In terms of going forward, let's assume that the elections are declared for the PNM.
Yes.
I don't expect to see much change in ministers.
Right.
I expect to see more of the same. But Clarence Sambarak needs to ask himself a question. Are losing and are winning or no?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Because his second election he's won. He won he's lost, sorry.
Yes.
He lost 2015 and he lost 2020. But he will win still because, you know, I only hope that those he promised to give security of tenure in Badish lands will be on his toes
Yes.
to make sure that that is done. Otherwise, what he would have done is to tell the people a blatant untruth.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? So it's the people who have to take the situations and make it work for them. You promise, now you have a chance to deliver.
You're right. Okay, thank you. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Nicole.
Hi, good
and
afternoon.
Back. It is alleged, right?
Uh-huh.
The Prime Minister wanted to lower the disability money, the pension money, and also PNF money. He can't touch with money, girl. That what we work hard for, the NS money.
Well, it is alleged, so we will wait to see what decisions that the Prime Minister would take.
Let the people uprise. Because he can't do what he wants, so, I mean, no God, man.
Okay. Well, as the UNC would have stated, they have not conceded to defeat just yet, and they are waiting a recount in 5 marginal seats. So, of course, we'll wait to see what will happen after that recount.
You think it's going to make a difference?
Quite honestly, I don't think so. But of course, it's only fair that they be allowed to have this recount, and we will wait to see
so they'll have
what
some
will
closure.
happen. But I would, you know what is very interesting is once the PNM continues to get ready to form the next government, some of these ministers that would have been in the last government, how many of them would you like to see retain their positions, and how many would you like to see change? And this is something I want to ask the listening public today. Let me hear your thoughts on who would you like to see removed from their ministerial positions, persons from the last slate of ministers, and even the senators as well. Who would you like to see removed? Who do you feel you should not take up those positions?
I'm anxious to know who the new Minister of Education is
Yes,
be.
yes.
We have some callers.
Yes,
Nicole.
we do. Hello, good afternoon.
I just have a quick question. I'm not going to answer your question, but did the EBC make an official announcement that the PNM has won? They won the Prime Minister, they won the government leadership. Did they announce that?
What I have here is that the Chief Elections Officer said that they have received several requests for recounts in marginal constituencies, and so they will probably, after the recounts are done, they would make an official announcement, because we also seen that the People's National Movement won, of course, Tobago East, and Watson Duke is asking for a recount in that seat as well.
We have some callers
Yes,
on the
we
line.
do.
All right, we lost have called us.
Yes. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. In hindsight, I believe that the opposition, the UNC and the opposition leader would have done well in this election.
Yes.
I think they increased the total by 1. I think it was quite commendable in light of all the circumstances. You see, we ought not to be deceitful and bury our heads in the sand. The PNM was weaponized with $20 billion, right? They were weaponized with $20 billion, and they used it to distribute food card. They had all sort of changing roof for people, doing all sort of things, right? And what I'm saying here is this, is that it is surprising that the UNC was able to survive. I mean, I can't understand it, because that is what they used, among other things, in order to take the victory. And everybody knows that. They did so under the guise of COVID. Nobody looked at it. Nobody said anything. The newspapers, they turned their head, right? And they just run riot in the place. So I am saying that they had the advantage, and under the guise of COVID, they were able to solicit votes, and they were able to the only constituency which seems to have withstood that is this seat in Moruga. They were able to withstand because they understood that, listen, it's not just about today, what you give me today, but what am I going to get in the long term? And what happened there is that they stood up. The other constituencies fell for it because they targeted the vulnerable in those constituencies. So I'm saying that in these circumstances where it is quite unusual, and what was unusual about it was under COVID, and they used the state resources in order to achieve the end. And I'm saying that in itself, so the opposition ought not to be, ashamed or about anything, because I think they would have done well in the circumstances.
Okay. Thank you.
Nicole, if election wasn't held during COVID time, do you think our results may have been different?
I can't say, because I was listening. This morning I was actually listening to an interview with the PRO of the People's National Movement, Laurel Lizama Leasing, and we would have seen that a lot of elder persons would have stayed away, and people are coming to the conclusion that the elder persons would have stayed away because of COVID. But there are a lot of young people who actually came out to vote, and the question remains: is it because they genuinely wanted to support? I mean, even the campaign songs were basically, for me, I saw it, some of the campaign songs were mainly targeted at the young people, because the type of songs, the Zasa songs and all these different things, I felt that both parties had an agenda to get the young people involved, and they would have been working with the young people. And even Laurel herself, Lizama Leasing, this morning said that the young people they were out. The PNM's Youth League was they basically championed the entire results for the People's National Movement, because everything was done digitally, and it was done because of the people, the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, I see we do have another call on the line, so let's take in the calls. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon again.
Yes.
Right, I have to agree to some extent with the last caller. But I want to say, in terms, you asked a question which I want to attempt to answer.
Yes, let's hear your thoughts.
Earlier, most of the ministers who were there will return to their substantive functions.
Yes.
The interesting one would be Ministry of Education. Also, Ministry of Public Utility.
Yes.
I know that the last time they put Fitzgerald Hines to act for the few months.
Yes.
But they must get a substantive...
Of course they do, yes.
A substantive Minister of Public Utilities. On the UNC side, with all due respect to Wade Mark...
Yes.
I know his voice is giving trouble sometimes. I think he needs to take a rest.
Okay.
I think he needs to take a rest. I hope that, as somebody said, that some of the losing candidates, they didn't lose by much, would be given the opportunity to come to the back door, as we see, to the Senate.
Yes.
You understand? But I hope also that, I think Penelope Beckers would make a good Minister of Foreign Affairs, having had international experience.
Right.
I don't think Dennis Moses should come back. He should take a rest. You understand?
What about the Minister of Finance?
Well, his friend keep Fred, eh? You understand?
Yes.
And I don't really know who else within the current structure could fit that bill.
Right.
Unless you have a banker or economist or somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Works will come back, the Minister
The Attorney General might retain his position as well. The Minister of
once
National Security.
That is clear. Once that is cleared, then most likely he will retain it. He and Stuart going back. Them is the right hand people. You understand?
Yeah.
Well, on the UNC side, I really think, well, Anita Haynes and they have progressed from the Senate.
Of course, she's now a
And
member
I
of Parliament.
hope the president will see it fit. I know when Carmona was there, he appointed 2 persons with disabilities, but not 2 persons who went to the grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
They had people who, you know, like, what do they call the lawyer boy? I can't remember his name. But he became disabled as an adult, so he does not know the rudiments and the challenges of persons with disabilities. And by the way, I heard Angela, well, I know Angela, and I'm sorry to hear her plight about the caregiver.
Uh-huh.
But I know that they don't like to keep, whilst you may have a relationship, I think what they're trying to do is to rotate caregivers because they have a limited amount.
Right.
No, she's a special case because it's not herself alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a son too.
Right.
But I think when I investigated earlier this year, somebody, well, she must count herself lucky because I don't think they give your caregivers generally until you're 65 and you're bedridden. But in her case, we understand this, and I don't want her to misquote me. We understand the special circumstances why she got that caregiver because both herself and her son have a disability, a significant disability. But she would need to take that up with the authorities and also with her incoming MP to make sure that she gets some kind of assistance. Because I understand her situation, and I hope that she will get something. And I want to tell people, don't base your discussion on alleged, because alleged could get you in trouble.
Of course.
You understand? Let we wait. Let we see what happens.
Yes.
And if we have to react, if you have to react as an individual, as a community, then you react. I think Kamala, unfortunately, you see that last thing with the UTC and the NIB.
Yes.
I think the PNM played on that.
Right.
And the young people who voted for the PNM realized, well, look, no, it's not what you say sometime, Nicole.
Yes.
It's how you see it.
That's right.
Because there was not much detail as to what funds you're taking, why she said the excess or whatever. You understand? People already panicky about the whole situation with funds.
Yes.
And as a result...
But it's not only about what you say and how you say, but it's also what you do, because people now, they stop taking people's word and they look for action, and your action definitely is going to determine what you can do for someone.
What the PNM dwelled on was that in 2015, NGC, according to them, was raided by the last regime.
Yes.
You understand? So people remember that. And a lot of people remembering a lot of past things, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you have to remember a little bit of history to go forward.
That's right.
All right? So I think I've made enough contribution for the afternoon.
All right. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Nicole, I think we should go for a commercial break and we'll get back with some more calls.
Definitely.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card, and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rocha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BTCino, Leviton and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia.
It is back. Talk Your Talk is back. This is Mukesh Baburam inviting you to join me right here on U975 FM for the return of Talk Your Talk from 6 to 9 p.m. Enjoy your favorite segments and feel free to make your comments as we journey together. So join me, Mukesh Baburam, for Talk Your Talk. Talk Your Talk.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liqueur, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liqueur, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
Greeted in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Praise Him, praise Him.
U97.5 FM for the best song selections radio can offer.
Once upon a time there was a magic island full of magic people. Let me tell you a story about their pain and their glory. Oh yeah. Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing fear and pain, but also a brand new style. And of all these rivers that shape this land, two mighty ones move like a sculptor's hand. And today those hands across the land, man, they still
And welcome back to Politics 2020. And of course, we are in studio today discussing the general elections 2020, the results. We know some of you are probably disappointed still. Some of you are celebrating. Call us in, tell us how you feel about the results. Tell us what you expected. Tell us your disappointments. Tell us your joy. Tell us what's happening. And we have a call on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the panel there.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The postmortem has already begun.
Yes, it has.
Why the UNC did as they did. So Kamal Prasad Bissetta sounding like Jason Holder of the West Indies cricket team. That she's taking the positives out of this, and the two positives is that we won Marua Tablelands, and we have the popular vote.
Yes.
But we have a system here of first past the post. So popular vote don't count. And I will tell you that in the United States, Hillary Clinton got 3 million votes more than Donald Trump. But because of the electoral college system there, he won more electoral college votes than the popular votes. And he's president, and she is also run. Now, this is a good case for proportional representation. Because if you dissect the results yesterday, you will see that most people in this country voted against the PNM than for the PNM. So we have a case there that these people there now would not be represented. And then again, you have there, if you check the popular vote, it means to say the PNM is a minority government. But if you check the number of seats,
yes,
as 22 to 19, then as far as seats are concerned, which forms the government, which is the main issue,
yes,
then it is a majority government. There. Now, Rowley is on record as saying just a few hours ago that there would be some belt tightening for the next 2 years. So is that belt tightening mean more taxation? Does it mean a cut in pension? A cut in social
Well,
services?
we will have to wait to see.
Wait and see. Well, the
Yes.
budget is going to come
The
next
budget
month.
is coming. Yeah, that's right.
And we will find out there. And then people who voted for them and are going to be affected by this will have to hold their head and ball, And finally, let me state there that somebody mentioned that Clarence Rambarat, because I
Yes.
live in Nagona seat,
Yes.
my candidate won, because I voted for her, because I'm UNC all the way.
Right.
He has said that they're going to give them deeds for the land they don't know. Those are baddest land
Yes.
in places like Amau Street, Bagaloo Street, Niblet Street, etc. But the trouble is, many years ago, the baddest son-in-law, the late Sat Maharaj, was offered $3 million for those lands, and he turned it down. Because those lands there, at that time when it was offered, were more valuable than the $3 million, because it's right on the main road. But because of the fact that most of the people there are Afro-Trinidadians and they're squatting in baddest land there, you cannot put them out. You're going to have great social disturbance in the country. So I am against they being put out. The government has the right to purchase those lands in the public interest and the interest of those people. But what they should do, they should go to court and let the court appoint a valuator for those lands and let that stand instead of the government offering so much. And Badi's son-in-law, the late Sat Maharaj, and now I think his son is now in charge.
Yes.
And let the valuator and let the court decide the value of that land and settle. Because I am saying again, you cannot, although those people are heavily PNM voters, you cannot put out those people from those lands at all. Thank you.
Well, Sharon, it is very interesting. It is very, very interesting to see what happens after an election. And I'm looking at an article here, and it's saying, an article that actually was published 7 minutes ago in the Trans-Tobago Newsday, and it's saying that 7 aunts and uncle of the PNM Toko Sangre MP-elect Roger Monroe have filed proceedings in the High Court alleging theft and embezzlement as they seek to have their father's will and several deeds for properties which are in their nephew's name revoked.
Oh my.
So it just keeps getting better and better as the day goes by, as the minute, hours, and seconds go by in
indeed.
Trinidad and Tobago. I believe you have a call on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, we missed that one. Yes. So definitely that is something we'll have to see now what is taking place with that. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ladies here. Anna's not there, right?
Anna's not here today.
So, well, I take it. The election done, right?
Yes.
Well, we say we have a winner. But we can. And then they realize me, let me see what we can do for our country. They said I'm looking 5 years, but God will do for us. And they just tell us, we are 5 years, they will get some 3 times.
Mhm.
Taxes. Everything is taxes, so they can do again for us.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
Everything will happen next 5 years, you know, still get. And we live on, we go on, we start on like.
Well, the elections have been over, and of course the votes definitely would have reflected that, you know, so far the People's National Movement would have taken 22 seats. There's nothing that we can do about it now, so we just have to continue life, you know.
And move on.
Yes. We could barely hear you. You need to speak up. Yes. Right. Yes. Yes, we do have to live on. But the reality is in Trinidad and Tobago is that we as citizens, we would complain about everything. We would complain the government is not doing this, the government is not doing that. But when the time comes for us to go out there to vote and to make the change or get the change that we need, we always seem to have problem. And the other question lies in what really determines the way you vote. Is it that you vote because you're born and bred in a PNM home or UNC home, so it means that you have to vote in the direction of the party, or is it that you vote for representation? And that's the questions that we have to ask ourselves.
Right, you vote for representation, right? But yeah, how you have not a like I can make what
Mhm.
because it's not I'm not bad to what in Lada here and
yes. Yes.
I will put it, I will think the more kind of route. I put the myself,
Mhm.
no more like you want your people to rule.
Yes.
I understand, see the protesting, I just don't get for it.
Mhm.
And when the people all think about what you want, because our only mind, you don't follow it. Good. So, I got it.
Okay. Thank you. So as we were saying before that caller there, the question remains, and you know what determines how you vote in the election? Is it because you're born and bred in a PNM or a UNC home that you have to do this? Do you vote for representation? Are you voting race? And one political analyst would have said today that persons only stick to two parties. So the traditional way of voting and has always remained two parties. And Sharon, my heart really goes out to those smaller parties and the challenges that they would have faced in this election, because when we were sitting and we were actually looking at the election results, some of these candidates, they didn't even get as much as one vote. And you know, I mean, they would have gone out there confident, eager, willing to serve, willing to make a difference. And then when they get there, it's because they weren't even given a chance.
Yes.
You know, and I think honestly we need to move away. We need to move away from the way we think as it relates to politics in Trinidad and Tobago. We had 19 parties, but yet still the end result reflected on the two parties, the red and the yellow.
That's
so
right.
we have a caller on the line. Let us take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Lupi.
Good afternoon.
Calling from Princeton.
Okay, hi and welcome.
How are you?
I'm great.
Okay.
How are you? How are you feeling today?
I complain.
Are you happy?
I complain, eh?
Are you happy with the results of the
I'm
election?
not too happy. I'm disappointed
Why are you disappointed?
because I feel the Prime Minister had known if he had brought observers, it would have been different.
Right.
But he blatantly refused to bring the observers.
Do you think he blatantly refused to bring?
Definitely.
Despite the reasons that were given for the reasons that were given why these observers couldn't come to the country.
Definitely, he could have brought him before.
Understood.
Right? But regardless of the results, I am still happy that they think that Papa Kota from that little girl in Morocco.
Right. Be mindful of your language, please.
Yes, right. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I'm very happy
Yes.
for that licking he got from that little girl in Moruga.
Yes.
Okay?
Well, one political analyst did say that they made a bad choice by putting him there in Maruga Tableland. So, that's why they lost the seat. Yes.
Talking in big people language.
Mm.
You speak like a Hona woman. You know? See what happened? She left a man, come with the next man. And that next man feel, you see, she could go to the next man again. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's the way the role he playing.
Right.
I just see that. You all have a nice day.
Okay, you too.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
And we have another caller. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Okay.
All right, I think we lost that call.
Yes. Oh, we still have another one.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, there.
Pardon?
Yeah, they're very yellow. I'm very happy PLM win.
Okay.
I'm very happy. And all those people who go griping now. I don't know, you have children?
Hello?
Is that children?
Yes.
When they're born, you know, but I can't gripe over that. You get them when they get gripe everywhere?
Yes.
Right, all of you see why gripe over that. Tell them about gripe over that drink now. For the next 5 years.
Right.
Because I'm fine to overdo it. I'm like our worst enemy. Tell them, Kala, you are like you are from normal. On this of water, ring, let me a tree.
Okay, then. All right, thank you.
Again, no, send me a tree. 2055. Call me. I'll put it in a place. Anytime you call me.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
The man who works in the job center, the one who says exam, now to make the exam. You understand? You're a fool. I know what come on. I know what a long time. This is I do it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then. Hello, good afternoon.
Lost that call there, I think.
Okay, hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, I'd like to make a contribution.
Sure,
Can
go
I do
ahead.
that? You know what people, and I kind of like an outsider.
Mhm.
But you know how I think people here vote? They vote because they trust, they feel like they like the party.
Yes.
They like the Indian people, they like the
I
African
believe
man.
the very same thing. I think they
Yes,
vote because
exactly.
party. They vote for
They
party.
don't know about politics. They don't know about policy. That all they
Yes.
know about is the newspaper said the man is a crook, and he's a crook.
Yes.
I hear he's a crook, you know. And I hear so all of that is hearsay, fabricated information. They're real thieves right now in the Treasury. But you know something? All you'd have feel good if the UNC had won, and tomorrow things would have you'd have be happy, but you would have been in the same situation. Let me tell all you something. I live in a village, and every Sunday nobody sleeps in this village. Nobody. We have a lot of wrongs that our politicians have turned a blind eye on. They have people have no running water. People in Tobago Road, that is Sagan Mirage. I have family on that road. They literally bought land years ago in the 70s. or 80s, I think. And I know that area. We know Enterprise. We have family there. And let me tell you something. The pavement in Enterprise is terrible. And you'll see the government patching up, thieving money and paying contractors while you suffer. You want a wheelchair? Whose foot will you kiss? You have to wait till January have the annual Christmas to get a wheelchair. And when election time comes, they ban all the radio stations from talking politics. And you cannot get a beer. They ban everything on that day. Because listen, this is not a democracy. If democracies don't work like that. You have terrible schools. I went to vote. I took the same school I went to. And it's a shabby place.
Yes, it is.
You know, come on, people. We own people doing this to we. And now is the time for Mr. Sicharan with that guy from my area. I want him to clean it up. I want him to talk to the rich people and say, these are people who have lives in this country and they have a constitutional right to enjoy your property. You have a right to get a deed to your land. You have to wait for a minister, beg and pray and pay people off. And our schools are falling apart. Young children don't even know how to read and write except for rote memorization. And every Indian family wants a doctor and a lawyer because they want money. This is what happens when you turn a blind eye on human rights.
Okay, you're going to have to call us back after the news because we are breaking for the news now with Uma Ratan Singh.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations. Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
Hi, my name is Nicole Dookie, and I am inviting you to join me alongside Kenrick Jaggernaut on U-Talk, Mondays to Fridays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. We will be bringing you all the information you need to know in the world of news and current affairs. You are also invited to add your voice. So call us live and let's get interactive.
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
It is now time for Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Lisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
This is the 4 p.m. news on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Uma Ratan Singh. Good afternoon. The United National Congress says it has not conceded the 2020 elections. Public Relations Officer Anita Haynes made this statement during today's media conference. She said the party has requested a recount in 5 constituencies. These constituencies include Tunapuna, St. Joseph, Toko Sangre Grande, San Fernando West, La Joqueta, and Talparu. Haynes said a list of discrepancies which took place during the elections is also being complied to send the Elections and Boundaries Commission. citizens have lost confidence in the political leader of the United National Congress, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. This is the view expressed by Public Relations Officer of the People's National Movement, Laurel Lizamali Singh. She was speaking in an interview with members of the media this morning.
Kamla Persad-Bissessar has not been able to win an election, any election, local, general, or by-election, since 2010. And I think that speaks volumes because the people of Trinidad and Tobago simply do not have that confidence in her.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar spoke about a recount of the votes in the marginal constituencies. However, Mrs. Lee Singh does not see how this will affect the results.
But what she has done, what we've noticed that she has done is she removed a number of her senior members. I thoroughly encourage young people in politics, absolutely. But she's now putting a number of young people who would be possibly extremely loyal to her. And in that regard, she may have saved herself. But the recount is really just saving face, in my humble opinion. The margins may have been a bit too wide for any major impact to have happened because, for instance, in La Joquita, it's just about 1,000 votes.
One political analyst said the results of the 2020 elections show that the loyalties for the traditional parties have not changed. Dr. Keith Nurse congratulated the People's National Movement. He, however, noted that the battle was really in the marginal seats.
The 2219 result really speaks to really a traditional scenario where basically outside of a few seats, most of the seats are well defined. Most of them are safe seats. So it's really only in the marginals, as they call. We have some contestation for winning the election. And Tobago, as per usual, is a critical factor.
Mr. News said Trinidad and Tobago has the largest number of political parties in the Caribbean.
Trinidad and Tobago, anyone can aspire to the political arena, but it also says that really this is a two-party system. So except for the NAR, who made a significant, splurge into the arena, that period when the NAR was in control of the government really is an exception to the rule.
A 19-year-old man from Orange Flat, Sarima, has been charged with the murder of Nikolai Hodge. The incident took place roughly 1 year ago on August 6, 2019. Stephon King was arrested on August 6, 2020 on advice received from Director of Public Prosecutions. Senior Counsel Roger Gaspard led him being formally charged yesterday. He is scheduled to appear at the Arima Magistrates Court today. And regionally, a member of the Digicel Jamaica staff has been confirmed as having tested positive for COVID-19. All the staff members who have been in immediate contact with the affected employee have been tested and placed in self-isolation in line with the Ministry of Health and Wellness COVID-19 protocols. Additionally, despite the fact that the employee concerned is not based at the company's headquarters in downtown Kingston, out of an abundance of caution, the Ocean Boulevard building has been closed and deep cleaning and sanitization of all physical spaces will be carried out over the next 24 hours. In addition, the company will be carrying out air purification activities. The headquarters will be open again on Wednesday morning for normal operations. And internationally, Russian President Vladimir Putin has said a locally developed vaccine for COVID-19 has been given regulatory approval after less than 2 months of testing on humans. Mr. Putin said the vaccine had passed all the required checks, adding that his daughter had already received it. Officials have said the plan to start mass vaccination in October. Experts have raised concerns about the speed of Russia's work, suggesting that researchers might be cutting corners. amid fear that safety could have been compromised. The World Health Organization urged Russia last week to follow international guidelines for producing a vaccine against COVID-19. And on to the weather forecast for this afternoon. Partly cloudy spells with showers are expected in a few areas during this afternoon, with a medium chance of an isolated thunderstorm during the afternoon over Trinidad. Seas will be slight to moderate, with waves up to 1.5 meters in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. High tides at 9:09 p.m., low tides at 2:33 p.m., sunset at 6:25 p.m. The current temperature is 32 degrees. And that brings us to the end of the 4 p.m. news on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Join us at 6 p.m. for another newscast. I am Uma Ratan Singh, wishing you a good afternoon.
That was Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Leisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
And welcome back to Politics 2020. Remember, we are discussing elections 2020, the aftermath of elections 2020 right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, you can call us live in studio at 636-7547, 227-5739. You can WhatsApp us at 378-4975. We have a call on the line already. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I listened to the news broadcast at 6 o'clock this morning. But somehow or the other, you all may have left out something important.
And would you share that with us?
Well, I didn't hear you all announce that Kamala Prasad sister resigned.
She did not resign from the party.
Oh, okay. Well, then the party will remain good as is then. All right. Well, great is the UNC. It shall prevail.
Okay, then. Thank you very much for your call. Right. No, I for a moment I was confused, Sharon, because I know I would have just listened to the United National Congress's press conference and nothing of the sort was said. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon to all you ladies inside here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You know, I go to ask you the same question.
But do you think that she should resign?
Who, she?
Yes.
But since she lost against Jack Warner, that time, and also that when she lost the local election, all that time she's supposed to be staying home and cook and washing and scratching and ironing and things.
But do you agree with the statements made by the PNM's PRO, Laura Lizama, Leasing, that persons would have lost confidence in the political leader of the United National Congress?
No, but you see, that is why she picked people around her.
Yes.
Now, these people that she picked around her, and she put them in certain safe seats and all them things. She could rubbish shop them in the morning, you don't like, so you just go against she and call her by election and win it again.
Right.
That is why she put this people. But if she had put strong people around she, who could oppose she, and who could tell her, and who you see leadership and all them kind of things, she would have been doing this thing. Now, look at the recount she talking about.
Yes.
You keep them back all this time. Why are you keeping back all this time?
Because the government has to be sworn in. We have to continue the order of the day. The country has to be run.
Right. So the point about it is that you say you lost a seat by 15 or 20 votes. Right? You lost only seat by hundreds of votes.
Yes.
And if you lost a seat by hundreds of votes, so make it easy. All PNM have to do is take 100 votes from the winner and give her it. And call it a deal if she say that she want to recount and recount. You keep them back this time, you keep them back the country from moving. You don't keep an idea. Don't keep back the country, you don't lost. You don't want to resign. You're saying everything okay. And your mama guy yourself. Why your mama guy yourself? Wait until that if Padarat have to go in the court with this election paper. Then you could fight a case or you could battle something and show well what you're doing. But oh God, let the country keep going now, man. You win one seat, my whatever that. Thank God for small mercies. The next 5 years you're going to knock one seat again. Right, there will be 20 seats. In the next 5 years, if you live, you will win our next seat. And that's how you go in one seat. You don't want to win all, and you're always saying some foolish thing that your people don't want to even hear what you're saying. And let me tell you, UNC supporters, always stop crying now. All you know that she couldn't win the election. All you know that she bamboozled all you, and from 2010 to 2015, all you know that she could not make over. Let the woman go in peace and rest in peace. Leave the woman and stop crying and make her accept America. All right, darling, take a look.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. Well, of course, the election for the political leader of the United National Congress is actually supposed to take place next year, 2021. So we'll wait to see what will happen when that time comes around. Hello, good afternoon.
And good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
And here by chance?
Anne is not here today.
All right, okay. That is a normal process at any election. And as who know politics will understand,
yes,
it's a normal thing.
Of course.
And if somebody decide to call and they still listen to me, you want to recount, that is a right, that is constitutional right.
Definitely.
But in the end of the day, is a loss is a loss, and the party have to understand that we have to figure out what is the cause of it, and let us go forward. I say it publicly, in the end of the day, the party was going good. You understand?
Yes.
Everything was going good in the election. Let me tell you something. I was up in Sandy Grande yesterday evening.
Yes.
I went to pick up my girls and them up there, my daughters and them, from their grandparents. And when I reach up to Grande, I coming down back by the cemetery in Sandy Grande, by the stretch.
Yes.
The stretch
That's
by where is that?
Touré Cemetery.
Right. From there, straight down to the roundabout.
Traffic.
You understand? Traffic. And there are police willfully stopping the traffic. And I see the guy who they accused of not paying him for family misfunds. He was there canvassing. You understand? So in the end of the day, all the people who stand up and fight for this party, the UNC, hats off to you all. In the end of the day, the country has to go forward. We will decide that who shall be our leader, and let's go forward. Nobody crying, my friend. Nobody crying. In the end of the day, if the country decide to take PNM with tax and to brutalize the people in this country, and they choose to do that, then laptop and no tax and education for all, and everything should be in place for the young people and the business people, and if they don't want that, and they choose to go PNM, then so be it. You understand? But in the end of the day, when they're suffering, I would not be a part of it because I was trying to make a change for the...
Hello?
Okay.
I think we lost the caller there. Yes. So we have another call on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Nicole voice there. Who is the company there?
Sharon is with me today. She's operating for me today.
I don't know that lady by name, that she name, like Carol the last week. Was Carol?
Carol was here on Sunday with politics, actually from 10 to 1.
If you remember the lady's name.
You remember the lady's name. Only the ladies.
But I had to get a book because you were going on. Was Anne, then Nicole, then was Carol, and now it's Sharon.
Yes.
And you want that reading news.
We have Uma Ratan Singh as well.
Uma died fine.
Yes.
At that time I had a friend named Startup. That was just Uma alone, a couple of years ago. When I was a younger fella.
Oh.
But well, yeah, man, at the end of the day right now, election come and gone.
Yes.
And China and the big to move forward. The only thing is, I would like to see, really past 5 years, none of these none of the schools that were started, there were incomplete schools.
Yes.
And the schools are in a really probable condition. So I want to see what plan, because remember, we'll be moving from 5 years, nothing was done on these school buildings.
Yes.
And then we'll be heading to 10 years.
Yeah.
So, and then what we are already getting a little hindsight that the next 2 years will be kind of tight. So we're going to tell me 7 years these buildings are going to stay standing up there. So by the time these buildings are ready to be, they wouldn't be of any, and thousands of dollars going down the drain behind them already, plus the children right now. Schools and the supposed to open about 2 weeks, about less than a month. If all things being equal.
Well, we're waiting to see what will happen with schools, but given the fact that COVID-19 is the number of cases are increasing.
By January, right? So
yeah.
I would like to see how this budget is going along, how we can do it. Right now, the focus right now is the government need to liaise with Digicel and B-Mobile and make sure we have proper internet service right through the whole island.
Yes.
Because what we're seeing here is from now on, the schooling will be leaning towards
digital.
Digital.
Yes.
The first thing on board, and also we had to put our heads together and see where we're going for. But at the end of the day, right now, I would like the UNC as much as possible, and all the people that have a good suggestion and ideas to lobby and get our suggestion and ideas forward. Because I do think we could allow our government, not because they won the election, to continue going in a direction that not carrying us forward. Because we need to bring some closure on these. I think if the UNC do have count, I think it may be about 10 or 15 school buildings that are on.
Yes.
So we need to bring that to our head, because that's the taxpayers' money that's already spent in that direction.
Of course.
So we need to, the rest of the country need to get together, and I mean, we got to demand what the government have to do for us. We can't sit down and let them do what they want. We got to get together and demand in some way to
and I do agree with you, and I've always been saying this. Why are we sitting down and complaining? Why are we sitting down and venting on social media? Because I've been looking at the social media commentary as of last night, and I'm appalled to see some of the things that people are saying.
Yeah, but
why are we doing this? Why can't we do something else? What about,
right,
I mean, let's protest throughout the entire country,
right?
Simple. Let us do something. I mean, I'm not encouraging or inciting any type of violence or anything like that, but we have to find another way to deal with this.
Why
didn't we withhold our votes? Why didn't we withhold our votes? All these things, people, and then we sit and complain, and we say the government
right?
Yes.
I read Mr. Alexander manifesto.
Yes.
And his manifesto has some ideas that can be used by whoever rules the country.
I was
the UNC manifesto, same thing.
Yes.
So we got to do these ideas and suggestions.
Put politics aside and put country first.
Right, because need to be brought to the forefront and let's carry the country forward. No matter despite who leading the government.
Yes.
Because we need to get, because at the end of the day, I mean, Mr. Another Prime Minister, he over 70. Mr. Imbo said these people, they're going to leave us now in disarray if we don't force them now to get things done or put things in place.
Yes.
So let's see how it goes. But I mean, for the time being, we don't have a choice. But I'm not. I personally, I don't know. My people, my political microscope down the road.
Yes.
I not seen. I looking at a snap election after about 3 to 3.5 years. I not seeing the 5 years going right down. For some reason, I see that right now.
Well, we'll wait to see what will happen there.
Right, the UNC got to just get together, and let's move forward. Because I mean,
definitely they have to.
Because at the end of the day, Miss Anne, I don't care what my political party.
You're missing Anne. You're missing Anne.
Yeah,
you call me Annie, missing Anne.
Yeah, Miss Nicole. I want to see the Trinidad and Tobago be a better place, and our education system is dire straits right now. I mean, our buildings, and I mean we got to get some form of service. I mean, the education system is the only institution in Trinidad has.
Of course, and then the children, our children are our future, and if we don't get it right with them, it goes to show what happens to the future of our country.
Yeah, we working. The main reason we working is our children to help the country go forward.
Yes.
Because the education, I mean, for some, that whole system of maintaining these school buildings need to be revisited, because all these successful governments have failed from right down. They have the best intentions, but for some reason along the road, they have failed, and we have so many expert and technical people.
Yes.
We need to get a handle on that. Thank you. I think I made a call back.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Well, I am the same aunt. I think she's behaving rather naughty. She comes to work when she wants. She's the boss in her again.
Well, the management is listening, so I'm sure that they will take your opinion.
All right. Well, listen, the elections are over.
Yes.
And we move on now to governance.
Yes.
And what you want and I want and what everybody wants is good governance.
Of course we do.
We want and we open our tap, there's water, we put on a switch, there's light, we don't drive on pothole roads.
Our drains
we
are
have good
maintained.
schools for our children,
Yes.
a proper healthcare system. We want these things. But in order for us to have those things, it comes back down to money.
That's right.
That is where the rubber hits the road.
Of course.
Now, we are in a precarious position. When Dr. Rowley came into office in 2015, they tell you that he lost immediately $30 billion in oil revenue because of the change in the price of oil.
Yes.
Then we come down now to the situation with gas, where we have a paucity of gas in the country. And because of the paucity in gas, we were hardly able to supply the factories at point because they were running at under par capacity.
Yes.
And being running at under par capacity, it meant that we got less revenue from them that we would have accustomed getting.
Right.
Now, what has happened since then? We've had the whammy of COVID-19.
Yes.
Hitting all of the commercial places all on the Eastern Seaboard where they would sell their product.
Yes.
And right now, most of the product are not in hot demand because of COVID-19. They've had slowdown in the economies globally.
That's right.
So we are facing a whammy universally. The islands up north, which usually buy our products, or canned peas or this, all the products something that we make here, you could go in a supermarket in any of the islands up north and you think in a Trinidad supermarket. That and all is under depressed conditions because of the fact that they have no tourists to buy from them. So all around we're in a very, very precarious position.
That's right.
What the UNC can do, they have been delaying this since Mr. Manning said it in 2010. According to the World Bank, actuaries, number crunchers at the central bank and all of them, right now we are collecting just 60% of the revenue that we usually collect. But the UNC refuses to assist in changing that situation, which is bypassing the Revenue Authority bill. And let me ask you this question, right? If it is that when you do property taxes, that tax goes to the consolidated fund of the country, and therefore it is shared among persons who want feed up, fix your road, fix your school, and all of that, right? So if it is that you don't pay property taxes, where would that money come from? It has to come from somewhere. So if you don't get it out of property tax, what are you going to do? You're going to increase individual tax, or you're going to increase business tax? Where are you going to get the money from? Or in every developed country in the world, I'm sure you know it. I'm sure you've traveled. You probably have family living abroad who tell you they have to pay their property tax.
Of course you have to pay taxes.
They have to pay their property tax. If you don't pay property taxes, you're in trouble. Right? I mean, I was laughing at the fact
But we
that
live in a society where people just want to have everything more or less free.
free. Yeah, free. Just get it free. And the leader of the opposition has been encouraging that. She said, we don't want no property taxes. I mean, this is... So where was she getting all this money from? Like magic?
Well,
It was
she had,
coming like manna
she
from
had her
heaven.
plans. She had her plans. She had a
You
well
see,
thought plan.
So unit trust and NIB. Look, let me just don't take too long again. I only want to say is that I'm hoping that whoever leads the UNC would come to book and know that Trinidad and Tobago comes first.
Yes.
They need about 10 of your votes in order to get the Revenue Authority bill passed. Please work with the government, pass the bill, because the money government gets, it's not going in the pocket, it goes to the consolidated fund and redounds to the benefit of us
To the
all.
citizens of Trinidad and
Okay?
Tobago.
Have a nice evening, you.
Thank you. Well, Sharon, that was a lot that was said.
Yes.
Of course. And, we, in our 4 o'clock news class there, we would have heard the public relations officer of the People's National Movement saying that people are... the fact that she would have lost so many elections, people don't have confidence in her. So, and the question is, should she resign or would she be elected out of office? If she stays, it's all
have to wait
left.
and see, I guess.
Yes. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let me take the opportunity to explain the property tax. Property tax is intended to improve services to the different households. In terms of, we have to go into recycling, for instance, right? Developed countries do recycle. They supply with bins and they you separate your house domestic waste. It no longer it is waste disposal. And waste, there are different categories of waste. There's bulk waste and there's domestic. The domestic waste is what we will separate. And therefore the collection will be different to the garbage. Waste trucks will have to have different compartments in those.
Hello?
Waste. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yes.
You probably need to
Breaking
shift
up
your
a little bit.
location from where you are because we're barely hearing you.
Hello? Okay, I think he...
Yes. Okay, I think we lost him. Hello? I think we lost the caller there.
Yes.
So you can call us back and you can continue with your contribution. And so again, I was talking about whether or not she should resign, whether or not she will step down. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because I listened to her.
Maybe we need some change.
I listened to her last night at her office there when the results were announced, and she didn't look good. And I mean, I can understand she's hurting.
Yes.
And but if it is that, you
can't handle it,
judging by the record, is either she does something different or she gives someone else that
give
chance.
Somebody else a chance.
Yes. Hello. Okay, we lost that one. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you all, miss.
Hello.
Yes, a blessed day to you all.
Same to you.
Look, a government said he did not need his job. He win an election, not talking one national issues in this country what going on. He will talk, tell lies, and he win an election. He come back and he use the same thing. And he come back and he win election. And we really, and he proved now perfectly that we are stupid people, you know. It is here talk nothing about the national issues. Hospital down, up, this down, everything around our school, every single thing in a crash situation. Not even, oh God, I don't know what to say. I stopped calling radio station for a while because I see stupid people in the school. Have a blessed day.
Okay, then thank you very much for your contribution. And we were actually discussing whether or not Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Bisachas should step down and give someone else a chance. And here we're seeing from last night till today, there were some resignations in some of the parties. The chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, Felicia Holder, she was appointed as the interim leader of the party after Philip Edward Alexander basically made good on his promise to resign from politics.
Yes, he did,
and he said that he would have stepped down as the leader if he could not win the Diego Martin Northeast constituency, and he didn't. And we also saw Rekha Ramjit resigning from the ILP, and I think is the fact that the smaller parties never get a chance. And it made her a bit disenchanted, and that also leaves the question whether or not the other smaller parties and those persons who are involved, the candidates and the political leaders of those parties, whether or not they will step down because they are disenchanted. I would recall yesterday in one of my conversations with one of the smaller party, the political leader of one of the smaller parties, I was told that it was more difficult for a smaller party to get information from EBC officials during the election day and the process. It was a bit harder for them. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone there.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is for the caller, I think 3 callers ago. This is one Mr. Eric. Mr. Eric, Miss Kamala Prasad-Bisachas don't need your advice. Neither Miss Anita Haynes, none of those the representatives on the UNC bench don't need your advice. Advise Miss Dr. Rowley and his followers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, we were actually discussing the smaller parties and the fact that they, whether or not they'll be disenchanted and whether or not they will still want to continue contesting the elections. And we see a lot of young people, and we see the enthusiasm from them. But the thing is do we, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, give them a chance?
Exactly.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, the gentleman calling and telling people how stupid they is. That was one of the fella. He is one of the fella I'm talking about right now. He who says Rowley didn't worry work. He who says that Rowley lying to people because Kamala made them feel that Rowley was lying to the people. When Rowley was telling them the truth from 2010 to 2015, they didn't believe the man because Kamala come and tell them that the truth is okay. She come and she tell them that the man didn't want his job. They say that the man says he didn't want his job. So if you don't want a job, you feel you come to battle on a battlefield to live or to dead. If you don't want his job, you got to dead. But the man, and the fellow who talk about Eric, thank God Eric supposed to give she advice. Because she can't advise nobody because she lose the election with her election.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Sharon. So, we were discussing these smaller parties, and yet again, we have heard political analysts did say that the results of the election would have shown that persons would have stick to traditional politics, where the PNM and the United National Congress. And I think we should give these smaller parties a chance.
I think
and,
so. If we really need change.
Yes. Throughout the campaign, you would have heard David Abdullah, even Nirvan Maharaj, who would normally come in here on Fridays, would have said these smaller parties, should they be, even if they have 1 or 2 seats in the parliament, it would be able, it will make a difference. It will change the way that things are done, because some of the legislation and all the bills that are being debated, they require a certain majority in the parliament. But when you have the one party saying one thing and the other party
saying a different
one
thing.
party for, one party against, and you just have a third party, just 1 or 2 persons from a third party, you may get a different result, a different outcome. So I really hope that one day we should change the way and thinking and the political landscape of Trinidad and Tobago and give these young, smaller parties a chance. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome.
Yes, explaining the property tax. Yes. It is intended to improve local government services to all households. So that when you pay, if you are recycling in Toronto and so on, you supply with the equipment, the garbage disposal equipment and so on, different colors. And then you'll separate at your domestic level, paper, what have you, glass and so on. And so you modernize the collection of waste. And there is the whole question of the disposal of oil that we throw down the drain and so on. All that will be specified. And that will be done to protect your children, the next generation, not for us. It's for the next generation. We have to provide them with a modern society. And the money collected will be retained by the corporation. It will not go into the Ministry of Finance Consolidated Fund. They will keep the money to carry on their business. If they need money for any major project, then they go to the government, to the Minister of Finance. So they will have their own money to spend. As it is now, you hear the corporations complaining they get enough allocations and so on. So it's intended to improve local government services. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, we'll pause for a course, some commercial breaks, and we'll be right back.
Greeted in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Praise him.
You can now listen to business news Monday to Fridays at 5 p.m. Get updated on all the latest business developments. Tune in to U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, where we keep you informed, educated, and entertained.
Visit Top Gear Auto Parts and Repairs today at Southern Main Road, Couva, opposite the Anglican School. They specialize in tune-ups, injector cleaning, transmission flush, brakes and suspension, vehicle diagnostics, wheel alignment and balancing, and all general auto maintenance. Call us today on 271-6525. Top Gear Auto Parts and Repairs, your one-stop shop.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card, and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rocha Douglas Road, Barraco, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liquor, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
This is Samaru Ramru inviting you on a journey down memory lane with enchanting songs on the program Nightline, Mondays to Thursdays, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Let your heart sing along with the music on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips, and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U975.
Islands in the sun.
And welcome back to Politics 2020. Remember, you can call us live in studio at 636-7547, 227-5739. And you can also WhatsApp us at 3784975. And you can view us on YouTube on RCL U97.5. Well, we are continuing again with election 2020. It's still hot off the press. We just, less than 24 hours ago, the polls would have closed. And of course, less than that, the announcement would have been made that the PNM would have won 22 seats and the United National Congress would have won 19 seats in the election. And so far, we would have had some requests from the United National Congress for a recount in 5 constituencies, and these include Toco Sani Grande, San Fernando West, St. Joseph, La Joqueta, Talparu, and Tunapuna. As of 3 p.m. today, the counts were being done in 3 of these constituencies. Those are Toco Sani Grande, San Fernando West, and St. Joseph. What are your thoughts on the recount? Do you think it's necessary for a recount to be done in these constituencies? And let me know what you think. Call us, tell us what you think about the recount. Also, what are your thoughts on the election? How do you feel? How do you feel about the election? How do you feel about the fact that there were no election observers? How do you feel overall as it relates to elections 2020? We have a call on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening, ladies. Anne there?
Anne is not here today.
How's she working, sir? All right. No problem.
That's a matter you will take up with Anne when she comes in tomorrow.
I think so, Miss.
Oh.
Yeah. And who do we have in the studio this afternoon?
Well, you have Nicole and Sharon.
Oh, okay. Very important. Oh, the top gear, they put the hierarchy. All right. I will have to edit my comments then. I won't be able to see what I have to say.
I don't know what you're speaking about.
All right. So it's just, I've been listening to the callers a bit, and then in between. First thing first, elections are elections. It's the first past the post system. It's a democratic process. That is what it is. That is how it is called. That's how it's called. Go ahead and do your recount. Check whatever you need to check out. The second thing, under the Westminster system, it is the honorable thing normally a political leader will vacate the office. That should have been happening since 2015 after the local government election there when, I think it was 2013 or 14 when a number of seats were lost. But I will leave that as is and give everybody, leave it to their conscience, and it's up to them. And it's up to the Trinbagonians to decide what they want for themselves too. The third thing I want to also say now is concerning the economy. Now, the thing about this is, we keep talking about Singapore and digitalization and all these things. It's three things. And something called your physical labor, your human capital, and addition, and your investment capital, your foreign direct investment. I remembered during just about 10 years ago, they had a plan called Vision 2020. Well, we in 2020, it has turned to Provision 2020. I've been eating yam and dasheen and whatever. I do not know what to call 2030 or whatever coming up. The fact of the matter is, what is going to happen is, we are seeing that the reason why so many people are despondent. I want you to think carefully, Sharon. So many people are graduating. Look at how many programs people are coming out. They can't get jobs. They can't get a job commensurate with their qualifications, all these things. It's kind of breaking that age group, 18 to 25, this spirit. And then you ask them, what are you going to do? They're going to do an next master's, or they do an next master's after that, like they're collecting stamps. We have not been able to create any sort of innovation or a culture of creativity. And when you talk about creativity, people go in and they ask them what they're doing. They're going and sell food. How much food are they going to sell at the end of the day? So you see, it have roles to the government to be the driver in order to get things done. All right, so we wanted to diversify the economy. We talk about yachting, we talk about maritime, we talk about creative industry, we talk about fashion. How much film? The film industry has really come out of Trinidad. So everything is there, it's just a matter of, you're going to just be hiring consultants and PhDs and whatever to keep rewriting policies. And you're going to set up more and more economic committees and then what? Then what's going to happen? Time is going and money is spent and nothing is being achieved. So all I'm saying, we need to focus in terms of the labor. Our country, Trinidad, has grown. It's very simple. Trinidad has grown to an extent. What we need to focus on is the developmental aspect. And developmental aspect is a little more tedious. It calls for a little more teeth-biting, meaning that you have to do your work. It calls for more discipline, etc. But sometimes the culture that came out from the growth do not want to transform into the development. That is the problem. Politician or no politician, whoever comes, it is a very, very hard job. It's a difficult thing. The last thing I want to say, there was a caller that talked about the consolidated fund and about passing the revenue authority. I have no issues. People have to pay their taxes. Sweden and Norway, the Scandinavian countries, and Finland and Denmark, they have one of the highest standard of living. They pay about 40% of their income in terms of the taxation. But let me tell you this, Sharon. If you home and you get ill, you fall on, you break your foot. They send in a nurse, they pay in your salary, they send in a car to take you to the hospital, a shuttle. They have people doing physical therapy. Why tell me that I am paying health surcharge or a road improvement tax or the green fund and you're not getting the service? I find it so hard when I go and I see people at the hospital lie down begging. It's not a matter of begging. Fix the system, fix the national security, fix the healthcare system, and fix the education system.
Yes.
And if you fix those three basic things and your infrastructure follow, everybody will be happy.
Yes.
And everything will be better. It will be a better Trinidad. And Trinidadians too are telling the citizens, stop littering, stop treating when they go to the beaches, they go to things.
Certainly agree with you on that.
Yes.
Right? When they're ready, they're putting down the glass, the music, blasting all the cars, and they're pelting the KFC box out and all these things. I mean, come on now, man. I mean, I know KFC stands for killing family and children, but don't kill the environment, man. All right? So I just wanted to leave those thoughts with you ladies, and I hope that you all keep well and keep up the good work, you know. And Sunday evening I was tuning in after 2. All they used to be playing some nice love songs and things there, but I ain't hearing nothing.
Love Vibrations, yes, I remember. Yes, I used to do Love Vibrations.
It has shifted over time.
Change it, made some changes, so Love Vibrations from 7 to 10.
Tell them don't go back to the 1950s and things now. Don't kill it, son. Let me play from the 70s, 80s maybe and come off the road now, you know?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so a little bit of breaking news. Moving away from the politics, there was a murder in Wallerfield. Actually, 2 persons were shot dead at Jacob Hill, Demerara Heights in Wallerfield. 1 person is said to have died while the other has been injured. Initial reports say it's 1 male and 1 female. Of course, we will bring you full details of that in one of our newscasts. Police are currently at the scene. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Since our present Prime Minister, our returning Prime Minister, has preached on so much about accountability, he needs to give the country a balance sheet before he presents that budget. How much money he spent, how much, because right now we don't have a balance sheet on the COVID. So we need a balance sheet because he won the last election on accountability by saying lack of accountability on the other government. So we need to demand, we the UNC and all the other citizens, it's not fighting nobody, you know. A balance sheet, where we are and where we plan to go, because at the end of the day, you may not have the best suggestion, the best ideas to move forward from where we are right now. They need to have input. That is my little share, and that right now I think other people will agree with me. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very interesting indeed. So again, we will keep you updated on what's happening, and of course, we're waiting the results of the recount in 3 constituencies: Turco, Sangre Grande, San Fernando West, and St. Joseph. And then,
any word on the other 2 seats?
The other 2 seats, so far we know the recounts would have started at 3 o'clock today on these seats, and we're waiting to hear when they would start. La Joquita, Talparo, and Tunapuna. And La Joquita, Talparo is one that came as a surprise to me because we were actually on the ground and we were confident from what we saw that Jillian John would have taken it for the United National Congress. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Multicultural Radio?
Yes, it is.
Hi, good afternoon. I was telling someone yesterday, I would have thought that we had reached a point in our history where we have a more equitable distribution of power, and not this continuous 2-party thing, because then it's going to be the same story over and over.
Yes, and that's why we were talking about the smaller parties and giving them a chance in the parliament.
Yes. And I would have thought that we were closer to that, but based on the results,
of course,
I realized that we at the same place.
Yes.
Right. And I hope we will get there eventually. And in governing a country, some things are not just a clear question of right and wrong, because you're dealing with people with different value systems. Right, and laws can be changed, and I mean it had happened with the child marriage issue, with the the gay rights issue is still in limbo, and other things, and laws can be changed to accommodate an evolving society, right? So, I would hope that at some point we get there. I'm not saying that I'm disappointed with the results, but I'm just saying based on what I'm seeing on the ground, because I don't think the average person can relate to all these big issues about these big projects and so on, and especially these millennials. Millennials are looking for jobs in the technology industry, as bloggers, as entertainers. They want to travel and write something and make money. They're not looking for the normal black and white sort of jobs that we used to look for, So the whole landscape of the thing needs to change as far as I'm concerned, but clearly as a country we are not there yet.
Yes.
On the tax issue, I would like to say, as it relates to the property tax, tax in general, I think one of the issues with taxes is that we do not understand it. Some of us don't even understand how it works. We are just lucky to have been in a government job and somebody would take... I have never actually sat down and did a return. You always had these people that would pass around and you give them your TD4 slip and they do it, but never really understood the system, right? And I've been working, 28 years in the public service, right? And in relation to the property tax, one of the big issues people have with the property tax is that people feel that here it is, I have built my house, I have spent money developing this, investing in it, I have expanded on it, I add 2-3 bathrooms, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. In my case, I'm sure I spent over $100,000 just developing the land, because the land that I got was waterlogged, right? And this is HGC property, right? Then you had to put fence, you have to put all these things. So you spend, sometimes when you check it, millions of dollars over a lifetime on your property. And then you want to tax somebody for developing their property. Yes, you can have a property tax, but this property tax based on what size house you have and all of that. So then what you are telling me is that don't invest in my property, don't develop my property. And on top of that, you are saying you are charging me based on the rental income of my property, but then at the same time you are saying that certain properties are not for rent, and property tax, that is the issue that people had with the increase in this property tax, the new legislation that they had proposed, and homeowners are going to have a serious problem with it. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to explain property tax to people so you understand, because it's a scary topic. You know how property tax should work according to zoning laws. So if you live in a residential area and it's high crime and it's terrible jobs are hard to find, it's like Rabbit Hill or maybe some other areas in the country, that property tax isn't going to be valued very high, because it's based on the school system, on the education system that area offers, right? So you pay taxes on your property because your children go to a good school, it's safe, you could walk on the road, ride your bike on the road, and nobody's infringing on your rights. That is how property tax should work. Areas are zoned. You want to build an apartment in an area where everybody have houses? You want to bring in to our community now that we tried to build up here? You're going to rent every room out to Airbnb and get all that money, and we as the neighbors have to suffer you using all the water and all of that, and you don't pay the bills? It impacts everybody. But poor people, the majority of all of us live in poor communities. Look at the conditions of our schools. Look at our roads. Look at our buildings. And they're fooling you. You know what the property tax should be the highest? In Port of Spain, Westmoreland, Gulf, the places that are built up where you've got the $1 million mansions, you've got malls and all these things, you got all the 1%. There should be, bracket should be so high that it should support the country to reinvest in the poorer communities. That is what it should do. And we should have regional cooperation with power. But you know something? They'll never do that because they want to preserve corruption. You know, I get frustrated because I want to tell all you something. You don't have to put up with this, you know. The Constitution gives you a right to stand up. We act as if when Kamala was in power, it was a first world country. Nothing changed much. People had hope. That's what it is. They had identity hope, not policy, and we're going to change government and we're going to make more jobs. Lies. Even the Prime Minister is lying right now about jobs. He's going to bring investors here to do the online internet. They are going to sell the service to us. We're going to qualify for some grants, and they're going to put it through to the poor people. He's popping up at 1%, and we will always be on the bottom. When I say we, even the people, Afro-Trinis, Indian trainees, the poor people out there, single mothers out there, and all they're giving you is a hamper. They're giving you a hamper. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's 4:58 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We go to the top of the hour.
We have a commercial break first.
A commercial break and the top of the hour, and we'll be right back.
Let's talk Guyana. Join me, Umaratan Singh, as I bring you news, updates, information, culture, and traditions of Guyana. Let's talk Guyana, Mondays to Thursdays, just after the 10 a.m. news headlines on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
Hi, my name is Nicole Dookie, and I am inviting you to join me alongside Kenrick Jaggernaut on YouTube, Mondays to Fridays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. We will be bringing you all the information you need to know in the world of news and current affairs. You are also invited to add your voice, so call us live and let's get interactive.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters, and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax, and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BT Sino, Leviton, and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
Time has come. U97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
Islands in the sun, islands in the fun. Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. When it comes to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. Look, sweet woman parade abundantly. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trini. Paradise are not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery. We're nothing in the world of bother we. But look, a smart man gone with green money. We still come out and mash up the party. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of my country. Sweet, sweet TNT. All this sugar can't be good for me. Oh, from Togo to Caroni. Oh, Marabal to Sanssouci. Oh, from Scarborough to Kokori. Oh, profiling on Frederick Street. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of my country. Sweet, sweet TNT. All this sugar can't be good for me. All these years I spent abroad in the cold The problems we have are plain to see. We prove we can stand this scrutiny. All I know that true democracy. How we
And welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, to Politics 2020. And again, I just want to remind you that you can call us at 636-7547, 227-5739. You can also WhatsApp us at 378-4975. You can view us on YouTube at RCLU975. And, I'm just seeing a bit of breaking news here. And the ILP's Jack Warner says he has officially retired from politics after conceding defeat in the PNM, to the PNM for the Lopino-Borne seat. Wow. And we were actually talking about resignations, and we were talking about Philip Alexander resigning, and we were also talking about Rekha Ramjit stepping down. And no.
Mr. Jack Warner.
In some breaking news, ILP candidate who contested the election for the Lopino-Borne West constituency, Jack Warner, just announced that he's officially resigning from politics. So the question is now, and we're asking the burning question, would or should Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar also follow suit, given the fact that she would have been unsuccessful in some elections in local government, the last general election. So what are your thoughts? What are your views? Well, yesterday, Sharon, we would have had an election, we would have had a voting process under COVID-19 pandemic, and we would have seen a lot of differences, and I'm sure you would have voted, so you would have experienced something different when you went to the polls. However, last night we would have seen that police were forced to shut down election celebrations at Samuel Barataria because persons were not keeping with COVID-19 regulations. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You know, I'm listening to all the debate and and all that, and very interesting listening. But the point is this: no matter who would have won the election, we would have lost. The people of this country, we have lost. When politicians could have a hamper and a food card, and that will determine how they will sit in that parliament. It tells us how they see us, and worse, how we see ourselves. It's a sad state. It's a sad state when you look at our ancestors who were brought here as indentured slaves and as slaves, and the kind of atrocities that they endured, the kind of life that they had to endure and give their lives, praying, hoping to put a better life for the children. And today what we are giving to our children to come, we are selling our vote for a food card, for a hamper. I tell you, we're in a sad state. Pray for the children. Pray for our children. We have to hang our heads in shame. For the slaves who came here, whether they were indentured slaves or African slaves, it doesn't matter, no slaves, to know what they have endured and what they have provided for us today. We could throw a phone on that any part of the world. We pick up TV from any part of the world. For what? On the backs of those slaves, those indentures, those uneducated. And with all the degrees we have, what are we showing for it? Shame, Transwave, shame. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Sharon, very interesting indeed. And now,
with phone lines.
Yes, let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon. I listen to you every day, but first time I rest a call and but I realize I'm not on your I'm a lover. Listen to me.
We feel jealous here.
I want to take you all a bet. You will get no COVID in the country for the rest of the month.
If what?
I want to take a bet that you take no COVID in the country for the rest of the month.
No COVID?
Yeah, no COVID, no COVID virus for the rest of the month.
But we had 14 cases.
Yes. It's none in the country. I had a friend call me from America this morning. and tell me, David, there's no COVID in this country. No COVID in this country. And I want to take a bet. Between now and the end of the month, they have no COVID in the country. Have a blessed and pleasant day.
Okay, you too. Yes. Well, we'll wait to see how the Ministry of Health will issue another update at 6 p.m.
Today.
This afternoon. We'll wait to see what that will be like. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Good evening, ladies here.
Hi.
Hi.
I heard you all discussing the retirement of Ms. Tamara. Removal. Why you all don't do a survey? And people call you and say if she should go and who the replacement should be. That would be a very good thing.
Yes. Well, we will. I think he probably gone now. But we're asking your views. Do you think that she should step down as the political leader? Do you think she should follow suit as her political colleagues? We saw again Philip Alexander stepping down. We saw Jack Warner is also stepping down. Rekha Ramjit would have stepped down as well. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, family. Prabhu, Santa Cruz.
Hi. We're good. How are you? You sound very happy.
I'll make some nice dal and rice and bhaji with shrimp, with peas and zabuka in the season that we have all that rice and waiting. But God bless us and bless this fish and bless this soul. I hoping that I pray that every day God get a cure for this thing and done this stupidness. I'm a crew listening. So then I'm going to God bless all. Take care.
Okay.
Take care. Yeah, they're always cooking up a storm.
Very interesting. Hello, good afternoon. Hi.
Strange ladies today. You all could be the next leader of the party.
I would not even think about stepping into politics. Not me, you know.
Okay, but why would anybody wish for Ms. Tamara?
We are not wishing. We are just asking whether or not she could follow suit, given the record that she would have had with the past elections. Do you think that she should give someone else a chance? Because here we have persons saying that, you know, the results of the election could possibly be that persons would have lost interest and confidence in her as a political leader. We are not saying that she should. We are only asking.
She still has a lot of energy, my dear.
Okay, so you don't think that she should
have nobody to replace her there.
Okay, understood.
Follow.
Okay. Well, I see people, the English language sometimes tends to be very different. We are just asking because we are seeing a pattern as of last night where persons are resigning. So we just want to know what you think. Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening. To join on that topic you're now talking there.
Yes.
If you could remember, I had a time in Trinidad. People thought that if Pandey and Ramesh and who the next one again? And Dukran. They thought that right. They thought that if any, they say once a party in 1 minute, we are not Trinidad and Tobago. And Kamala was nowhere in sight. You have to tell about nowhere in sight. You could remember when Basil Pandey had the meeting, a big meeting in Shogunas, and Kamala gave her speech and she almost cried. I think she cried. Right? Because she was there on the wings. And when Jack Warner realized that boy Pandey lost 2 elections back to back, right? He decided to tell Kamala go for the leadership of the party. And the people are so afraid Pandey.
Yes.
So afraid of that. If it wasn't for Jack Warner, she wouldn't have the belly to take it. And during her tenure, she served her time. I mean, she was for her first time prime minister. You give her 8 or 10. I mean, nobody is perfect.
Exactly.
And she has served her time now. I mean, out of all the parties that come to the election, she was the most relevant. She had a proper manifesto and she had a proper. We know all politicians have plans. Sometimes when they get in there, you can't work your plan or like to work. But at least she should have done something. Yeah, they have done something. Right? And at this point in time, let that run at natural course. My biggest focus right now, I said just now.
Yes.
I want Mr. Honorable Keith Rowley, sitting Prime Minister, give the country a balance sheet so other people have a chance as to what direction the best direction moving right now. Because now we're not joking time, eh? As a matter of fact, this election is not celebrating. This is the first election I have, and it's not jump for joy, you know, because we had the COVID face.
Yes. Well, there was actually some jump for joy in various locations throughout the country.
That jump for...
But you can't stop a good Trinity party.
I mean, they will celebrate here, but they don't jump for it. And we have a situation where we have about 15 to 20 billion income coming in less. So it's both staying as the Titanic we're going to meet in the water about. We carry the iceberg mashes up. That is how we're going along the ice. I write that my contribution for now.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, we lost that one. And well, politics in Trinidad and Tobago could not have gotten any better, because now we're seeing that we're going to have 4 by-elections in three areas, 4 by-elections. Okay. That is for at the local government level, because we would have seen 3 mayors contesting seats to become members of parliament, and the chairman of one of the regional corporations as well. Therefore, they will have to get persons to replace them, and of course they were elected into office. Therefore, they will have to some by-elections will actually have to be taken place.
Some interesting developments.
Yes, of course. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
About Mrs. Licessa staying on or retiring. If the recount is in her favor, well, she has no choice. But
yes, to stay on. Understood.
To stay on, but if it's not in her favor,
yes,
do the honorable thing and resign.
Okay.
Make it nice and easy now. So
yes.
Yeah, you won't have no big set of hiccups and bad talking and this thing. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. Well, in terms of the recount, I was just reading an article where the EBC would have stated that an EBC official would have stated that the results of the San Fernando West recount would have been in 2 hours' time. And we're looking at the time, if it started promptly at 3 by now, we should have heard something. So we will keep checking our social media platforms or trying to find out exactly if the results would have come in before we come off the air, Sharon.
So we could have shared that with them.
Of course. Hello, good afternoon.
Ladies, good afternoon.
Hi.
Yes, a reply to that specific question, whether or not Licessa should step down. Well, number one, there is a democratic process.
Yes.
All right, she still commands a great or majority of the population. For the votes cast and so on, I think she got about, or the party got about 200,000 plus votes. Also, her party has 19 elected members now in parliament.
Yes.
All right. Yes, it's disappointing that she lost the elections, what have you. But as a only party, because she stood alone, she invited all the others to come and join with me.
Yes.
You know, all those egocentric persons who wanted, to be on their own, they want to own their own party, what have you. Compare the PNM. The PNM has one leader, and all of their members acknowledge that, that they have one leader. All right? Not trying to bring down their party. All right? I think we need to learn a little bit, because I will say it again. There are too many egocentric people who were affiliated with the United National Congress. The UNC is a powerful party. All right? And I don't think she should step down to nobody's calling unless it's a democratic process.
You're welcome. Well, of course, I would have mentioned sometime earlier that the election of a political leader for the United National Congress, that next election will be held next year in 2021. So we'll wait to see what will happen by then. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, we lost that one. And again, Sharon, I am definitely excited to see what will happen, because with this by-election, of course, the 3 mayors would have been Lisa Morris, Juliana Varima, Vandana Mohit of Chaguanas, Kennedy Richards of Point Fortin, and the chairman of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, Simon de Nobrega. They were all elected now as members of parliament. Therefore, their seats remain vacant, and of course a by-election would have to be conducted in order to have someone take their seats. I mean, that person doesn't necessarily have to be selected as mayors or a chairman, but of course the seat itself, these are without councillors. Okay, we lost that one as well. And of course, again, we were discussing COVID-19 and the fact that we had an election in a pandemic and so many different things, and persons would have called and persons would have complained of the length of time that they would have had to wait in line to cast their votes, and it's only because, and the lines would have been long because of the social distancing that they had to practice. You had to stand 6 feet apart and practice social distancing, hence the reason why the lines would have been longer, and of course the process of sanitizing. Now I did not vote, so I would not have known. Exactly. So, and I would figure it would, because you have to sanitize, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to make sure that your masks were on, all those different things. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I vote yesterday for 7th Avenue, Malik, and Duki know me. And so good. It no social distancing yesterday. It no social distancing actually. No, yeah, they did have to lie to see myself.
Right.
It's a center, right? And it's like a walkway, like a corridor. And inside the corridor have about 50 people. And if you bring me, I will say you're choking the person next to it. And no social distancing, no COVID in the country. The judge do that for 40 people in the country, to 5 people in the country, and no COVID in the country. Have a blessed and pleasant evening.
Okay. Well, I can't say anything further with regards to what you just said, because I can't confirm whether or not we really do. I am only going by what I've been told and official reports from the Ministry of Health. And of course, as of this morning, there were 14 new cases of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. And this is according to the Ministry of Health. This is not according to Nicole or Sharon here. This is according to the figures given by the Ministry of Health. So, Sharon, I hope that before we come off the air, we will be able to at least get that result of the recount in San Fernando West. Of course, that seat was contested by Sean Sobers of the United National Congress and Faris Alwari of the People's National Movement. And of course, Faris Alwari would have won the seat. However, again, we are waiting the results from the recount. And of course, the PDP leader, Watson Duke, also requested a recount in Tobago East. So that's interesting. For some reason, I was very, very confident, and I thought that perhaps Mr. Duke would have won that particular seat, Tobago East. However, Ayanna Webster Roy has proven to be more popular. She won the seat by 844 votes. So that is, something that we can look forward to. And of course, well, San Fernando East. San Fernando East is a seat that was held by the Manning family for 40-something years, 44 years, I believe. Mr. Patrick Manning would have held that seat. And then, of course, it was held by Randall Mitchell. And yesterday, we saw another Manning taking over. Brian Manning would have won the seat. And of course, I am reading an article here which stated that he delivered an early birthday present to his mother, Hazel Manning. I think she's celebrating her birthday today. So, yes.
Well, happy birthday to her.
Yes. So, and of course, we have Irma in studio. Irma, could you tell us a little bit about the election? Tell us, you worked in the newsroom yesterday, and you would have been doing some election coverage with us. So could you give us your thoughts on the election process? What you thought from the information that you gathered? What are your thoughts?
What I gathered so far yesterday and even into today as information are still flowing in about voting process. A lot of persons turned out. There were even persons saying that the youths came out. Normally, you don't see the young people out, but there was a tremendous crowd of youths and even the elderly, senior citizens. I went to vote yesterday, and in my area, I saw a lot of elderly persons. And young persons. The middle age were like, a little bit off, but to come out and see these youths actually exercising their civil rights, it meant a lot. It meant that they are focusing on things. They have needs.
Yes.
They want to see development. They're looking for a better life. That's the reason why I thought they would have been out yesterday.
Do you think it had anything to do with the campaign songs? Those campaign songs are very... I thought they were full of vibe.
I don't think as much of the music, yes. I mean, it entertained them, but I don't think so. Because of COVID-19 and a lot of losses in the lives of people who already were on the poverty line, you would find them voting because now they need help. They need to provide a life. They need provision for.
Yes. And I think that... I would think that some of some persons would have voted for the People's National Movement because maybe they were very comfortable in, they were happy with the way that they handled, and I'll put handled in inverted commas here because I don't want anybody to penalize me for this, but the way they would have handled COVID-19, I mean, and I would have applauded them personally, and it's not a political view here, I would have applauded them for the way that they handled the situation, and the fact that they were able to set up a parallel system, because I had gone to the hospital during COVID-19 time, and I had no worries. I mean, other than the fact that they scanned me and they did what they had to do for me to get into the hospital, but at least I didn't have to worry of contracting COVID-19 or having to mingle with patients who would have tested positive for COVID-19. So I totally agreed with that. I totally agreed with the borders being locked down. However, I think more should be done when we talk about the porous borders that we have in the southwestern peninsula. More should be done in that aspect, because
to protect us and the inside our country, protect the outsiders from coming in. One thing I want to look at, in one community, I saw a community development, but I think all communities across the board should now have some sort of community development, whether it's a garden, farming, woodwork, skill. These are skills.
A community could feed itself,
That's what I'm saying. They should have community.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank God I got you. I called about 20 times. And the phone off, it's ringing, nobody answering. So I say you're only answering the telephone.
No. Don't say that.
So, I called to say that now that the election is over, if the COVID that they just come on TV to announce, if that will stop off now.
I don't think that they would. But however, I think that
they come out 3 times a day.
I think that
after,
so
I hope it coming on. I hope the money finish.
I believe it will come on. However, I think that probably after, well, of course, when the new government is sworn in and the ministers are sworn in, of course they would continue unless the chief medical officer and his team comes on Saturday. What today is Tuesday? Tomorrow, and have a press conference, because they can also do that as well. So, we're back to community and a community feeding itself.
Yes, I want to go on this COVID-19 pandemic. We are focusing so much on it, but we have to live and we have to survive. So what we have to do now is work ways in which, as a community, we can get together to develop a strategy for whether, as I said, gardening, fishing, some sort of skill work. So when there is a shutdown of the country, that community can provide for itself.
Okay, so at this time we will take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with Politics 2020.
A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo for all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
A&S Hardware are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section, and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and pitch pine doors.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card, and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rocha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando.
Greeting in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Praise Him, praise Him.
It is back. Talk Your Talk is back. This is Mukesh Baburam inviting you to join me right here on U975 FM for the return of Talk Your Talk from 6 to 9 p.m. Enjoy your favorite segments and feel free to make your comments as we journey together. So join me, Mukesh Baburam, for Talk Your Talk. Talk Your Talk.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations: Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
Once upon a time there was a magic island.
And welcome back. So before the break, we were actually discussing community development, COVID-19. So Irma had a few suggestions. Irma, could you share a little more with us?
Of course. One of the projects I think should be at every community. Now that we have, new politicians, new faces, fresh ideas, a lot of persons do not have, let's say, for example, Wi-Fi service at their home. We do have communities that live extremely under the poverty line. They don't even have tap water. Many necessities are not available.
Yes.
What I think should put in place at this time is more homework centers. We'd label it as homework centers because there you're going to have your internet service. Children can learn through community development in small groups. So if we are breaking down to 10 persons or 20, that could be a group for at least a community teacher to go out and utilize that facility and let education continue for our generation. I mean, we are at the middle age, but what is there for the future of our children?
Yes.
And that is a major problem to me. I always think about these children. What about babies coming into the world now? Everything is diminishing. What is there going to be planned ahead for the survival of our children?
Yes, and I remember, and the thing is, a lot of persons with COVID-19 affecting us in this country, and we having to go into the digital world.
Yes.
I recall a few years ago when Fazal Karim was the Minister of Tertiary Education. He came up with this idea, and he called it a hole in the wall. And we're saying that some persons don't have access to computers, they don't have access to internet services. And he did two models. He did one in Valencia. It's called a hole in the wall, where you can actually go and use the computer, internet service, everything. So you could actually be standing on the pavement and you're walking like if you're using a telephone booth. Of course, it was a little bigger, and I thought it was a great idea. He put one in Valencia, he put one in Silots. I can't say what happened to the one in Silots because I've never gone back there after.
But at least it was there.
It was there. But I recall passing in Valencia. When I passed there a few years later, and I'm like, oh my God. And sometimes we as Trinidadians don't know how to appreciate these little things. You don't have access, but you live in the community. You can actually go, use the computer, use the internet service, but again, we don't appreciate what sometimes we get.
Another project should be health centers, because presently, let's say for the central area, there's one health center. What about testing? What about your different diseases.
Yes.
So we need more to cover the amount of persons that is there. Remember, COVID-19 is spreading so much.
And you know what's the funny thing? Leading up to elections, we would have seen a number of candidates. They would have been doing clinics and all these clinics. I hope.
They
I really
continue
do
with
hope
those things.
that they do continue. We have a call on the line. Let's find out what the caller has to say. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, ladies.
Hi.
I hear talking about different programs for young people.
Yes.
And my mind roll back. I'm an elderly person.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to primary school.
Mm-hmm.
It was like everything. They teach you woodwork.
At secondary level, yes. Yes. Home economics, they had
to plant melongen and tomatoes.
Agri-science, yes.
And evenings you have people learning how to do woodwork. And then too you had young people apprentice, Texaco, Shell, and Tech, everywhere,
apprenticeship programs, yes.
Mm-hmm. It was a case of developing our human capital.
Yes.
Having our young people develop skills that we could say.
But we do have YTEP and CCC and all those places, MIC, they still offer courses like that. Yeah.
So what they did really, they got rid of the whole idea of wanting to achieve. You haven't those programs.
Yes.
So what do you go and this week you're going to join that program. I ain't like around this and go next one. And you get a stipend and you go and then next one, a stipend, next one, is a case of a handout.
Yes, and I was about to tell you that some of us grew up in a culture where we have this dependency syndrome, and as you say, rightfully said, handout. And it's the culture that some of these young people would have grown up in that would have caused them to not show interest in these courses. Because, I mean, come on, with YTEP, you get paid to learn. When you go to MIC, you get a stipend as well. When you go to NESC, you get a stipend. So why would you not want to go? You getting paid to learn and you still would not go. Because it's the culture that you grew up in. A dependency syndrome, you depend on the government, you depend on this one, you depend on that one. We need to move away from that. We need to find a way to get young people to break the mindset that they have.
Let me tell you my experience. My experience is I was already attending classes at Savannah Girls Government School. My life was going to be a carpenter. I was doing woodwork. And I wrote an exam at St. John's College. I won a scholarship. I got tuition free. And that's how I walked to a college door. Otherwise, I'd be a carpenter. But we have had so much opportunity now for people. And they don't care because the whole idea is political patronage, you know. If you don't have to be performing to get a job, you know. You just have to know somebody. You could take a phone and call somebody.
That's right.
Let me just, before I close it, there's 20% of our children who attend these prestige schools, we train them to be crooks. Now, that is a hard statement, but so
I take offense with that, because I went to a prestigious school.
Let me explain the point. 20% of the children who attend those schools, the board makes the decision. The board decides which children should take in that secondary school. And many of them, the parents talk to the people beforehand and know where their child is going.
That's
My
right.
son was supposed to go to a prestige school. I said, no way. He going by junior secondary school, he pass for. No, he ain't going there. He going where he pass for. And when a child at age 12, when he know, my father pull a string and I go in there.
Yes.
You corrupt that child from the time he's 12 years old. How are you going to change when he's 18 years old?
True.
Thank you much.
Thank you. And he actually has raised a good point there, because I've heard of instances where parents would have gone to these, especially the denominational schools. and would have basically bribed their way into the school system. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Back to this point about Mrs. Bissessa staying on. If she don't get those seats and she lost. Yeah. Because you see, I hope they have in mind that they're not going to wait for 5 years on election. They have to pull down this government, put pressure on them. It happened with Ramesh and Pandey.
Yes.
And therefore, You need quality politicians. You have young, bright people, but they don't have that sort of experience.
Okay.
If you have to continue as a leader and you didn't win, you
guide them. She
room
could
because
guide
you know
them.
why? You would have a third force of the COP coming up again, and that is another set of bacchanal. People are going to sit down and just wait for you for another 5 years. You need to pull them down before the 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you. And we've seen a lot of persons, with 3 persons rather, within the past 24 hours resigning from politics.
Yes.
And it's a cause for concern. Are we going to stick to traditional politics? Are we going to make a change? Are we going to see that change? And the only way we could see these things is if we do it, if we reflect, use this our index finger to make the right decision. But what are your thoughts on? We were asking whether or not, seeing that Philip Edward Alexander would have resigned, Jack Warner just announced his resignation from politics, Rekha Ramjit would have resigned. We were just asking, whether or not Mrs. Prasad Bisasha should step down, maybe because according to Laura Lizama's leasing, that persons would have lost confidence in her, and it would have reflected in her losing the elections within the past 3 elections that she would have contested.
I would not want to say much on that because, that could erupt into a whole different set of phone calls. But, it's up to the persons who are affiliated with her group and the way they look at her leadership. The other thing is we always need that senior person with experience to lead the younger ones. Now, if all the experienced persons are stepping down, who is going to pick up the fort?
Yes. Well, we see that Anita Haynes at the press conference earlier said that they have full confidence in their leader.
Yes.
So, of course, they will support her 100% as she continues. And, of course, well, I guess when the party is finished with their post-mortem, we will know what direction that they will take on this entire thing. Because, to lose 3 elections,
Let me just clarify that was my neutral thought.
Hello?
I think Rowley should retire from politics.
You think he should? Well, he did indicate that this could be his last term in office. So that too we'll wait to see. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Why should Kamala resign if people are telling her to resign? I hope nobody's bullying her to resign.
Nobody's bullying her to resign. We were just making a suggestion, given the fact that we would have seen a pattern from yesterday into today where persons are resigning given the outcome of the election results. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon again. Mrs. Bisasa fought a very good fight. And I would say that she has done very well that fight. Because I can tell you, before the election, there were persons within the party, outside the party, who were fighting her tooth and nail to get rid of her. She couldn't win the election. She just couldn't win it. A house divided itself can't stand it. And there are people here in this country right now who profess to be UNC, and they were the people in the beginning, and they loved the people. They ain't care nothing but themselves. As far as I'm concerned, she should stay there. Next year, I don't want her. Vote her out. Don't resign, nothing. Stay there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, of course, we are waiting the results of the recount for Toco, Sangre Grande, San Fernando West, and St. Joseph. What do you think?
You think we'll get the results before we leave?
I'm hoping that we do, though. At least it will ease the mind.
Just about 10 minutes before wrap-up time.
We do have 10 minutes before wrap-up time, and I'm really, really looking forward to the results of the recount, and of course the recount in Tobago. And I'm waiting to hear when that recount will start, because we have to swear in a new government, and of course we have a budget to look forward to. And the Prime Minister would have said, the Prime Minister-elect, I should say, he would have stated that first order of business is budget 2021. Are you looking forward to budget 2021, or are you nervous?
No, I'm anxious.
Yes, that will have everybody in an anxious state, especially at this point in time where the country have already been through so much, and still the economy has to rebuild.
Yes.
So we're anxious.
Yes. We are. We're eagerly waiting to see what will happen. On my part, I'm looking forward to see all these projects that they would have started before the election continue. The court in San Fernando, the waterfront project, the highway from Valencia to Toco, I believe it is. You know, all those different projects, and I'm very, very excited to see how soon these things will come into being. Also healthcare, all these different things. We're looking forward to great things, I guess.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Go on, you're live. Hello?
Okay then. Yes. So like I said, we are looking forward to see what will happen and whether or not it will happen. Also, we have to see what will be happening with the Petrotrin refinery. That deal is yet to be signed, and the OWTO was calling on the government to sign that deal prior to the election. And of course, we'll wait to see what will happen there.
But Nicole, all of these projects, when they start streamlining, will be a plus for the country because,
of course, with jobs and everything.
Right, employment is going to be provided for every aspect. You will have from laborers to admin, you name it. There will be employment provided.
It will boost the economy in terms of business as well, because they'll have to get all the necessary material needed to build and to do whatever is necessary.
Sometimes when citizens look at the let's say media and they see these projects happening, they say government wasting money, but they don't look beyond to see that government is actually providing employment.
Yes, and well, according to some of the projects, the Works and Transport Minister, former Works and Transport Minister, I'll say for now, Mr. Rohan Sinanan would have indicated that the government was able to save money on a lot of projects, namely the Kirap Interchange project, and I believe the one in Toco, the roundabout in Valencia, I believe that he did mention that money was saved there as well.
Yes.
And they were actually using that money to construct the Diego Martin overpass, not the Diego Martin overpass, but something they turned this out for. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
there's one of the
Diego Martin that they would have.
Right, and then there's Maritime Roundabout.
Yes.
Okay.
So
lots of things to look forward to.
Lots of things and development to look forward to in Trinidad and Tobago. But of course, we can't move forward until we get the results of the recounts. And well, the United National Congress would have indicated earlier that they have requested recounts in five seats: Toco, San Grande, San Fernando West, St. Joseph, La Joqueta, Talparo, and Tunapuna. Of course, 3 of these areas, the recounts should have already been started in Toco, San Grande, San Fernando West, and St. Joseph. And we will wait to see when they will be doing the recount in Tobago East for the PDP. Watson Duke, like I said, would have requested a recount there. And of course, the UNC also did before they in their press conference today, said that they have some discrepancies that they would have experienced during the elections, and they will be putting that forward. So we'll wait to hear what that was. And again, they raised their concerns with election observers not being able to come to Trinidad and Tobago. So before we wrap up, of course, we just recap a little bit of the news that we would have heard this afternoon. Very much shocking. I mean, despite the fact that Mr. Warner was able to get quite a number of votes.
Yes.
His announcement of coming out of politics, it's shocking.
It's
because
a little bit shocking, yes.
he was dormant for a while, and then he decided to come back in, contest the seat, and now he's
but he's coming out, but he's always there for the people.
Of course he is. He's a man of the people, and he has always proven to be a man of the people. But of course, I guess it didn't work out for him politically this time, and he has to make that decision. And of course, Philip as well, he indicated that he would not have moved on had he lost the seat, and he did lose the seat, unfortunately. So he stepped down, and Rekha Ramjit also stepped down.
And COVID continues to rise.
People, COVID-19, the number of cases continue to rise. Yes, practice social distancing, wear your mask,
sanitize.
Everything necessary. If you're ill, please stay at home. Do not go out there and make the situation worse than it already is. Yes. And stay safe, and thank you very much for joining us. It was fun, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Thanks to all our callers for their views.
Of course, it was very interesting indeed, and we hopefully Anne will be in tomorrow. So all those persons who would have missed Anne,
her.
yes, Anne will be in tomorrow. So thank you again for joining us on Politics 2020. I am Nicole Dookie.
I am Sharon Balrup. Coming up at 6, we have news with
And
Umar
Umar
Rattan
Rattan
Singh.
Singh, yes.
Yes.
And thank you to Shiva, even though we asked him to take off the cameras today because we weren't prepared for cameras. Thanks to Shiva for having the patience with us and, always
Yes.
being here to stream our shows on YouTube Live. So that's it for us. Have a great evening, everybody.
And be safe.
Hi, my name is Nicole Dookie, and I am inviting you to